Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? This is Marshall Lee of DonkeyJawProjects.com. Also Patreon.com/DonkeyJawProjects if you want to read the current comics I'm working on as I make them one a month. And yeah, and today is the Early Bird Artcast episode number 9. I had some technical difficulties. This is going to be somewhat of a short one. And what you're looking at here is a bunch of pictures that I got from the internet. And this is a technique I learned from some YouTube videos by this one dude, and I forget his name. But you kind of put images or whatever in like on your canvas when you're like doing character design. Um, and you kind of work from those images, and then you end up coming up with something original. And it's pretty interesting. I don't think I'm actually gonna mess with this today. It just happens to be what was up on my screen. But yeah, it's been unfortunately I had some technical difficulties trying to get things moving here, but I guess we're here now, and um so we shall move on with the show. So let's see. So if you haven't heard, since the last time, and sorry I haven't been able to do so many videos lately. Um, but it's just I've had this issue with my internet for one, and then also I had the interview with Kevin Cross last week, and also another interview I was on Comics with Chris's show, which was really cool. So, um, I still put out a lot of video content last week, and plus the show with well, that was this week, but the show with me and Chris. Um, so I've been putting out video content, but it wasn't uh it wasn't these early bird art casts. Sorry, I guess I'm still waking up. I need more coffee. Coffee. So, I'm kind of, I'm in the middle of this like the corn cob Rob thing. And I'll be honest, I'm kind of not like I feel like I should be at a better place at the moment with it. The writing, like I kind of wrote the first few pages, but and even finished the first page inking. But then I kind of did some tests of different kind of styles of drawing and inking. Um, and also what I have written so far, I feel like isn't enough. I need more story. And so now I kind of got into some concept design art and stuff for it. Um, and you know, just trying to see. I have to download some stuff here, but maybe that's not a good idea while I'm doing this. But yeah, I have kind of in this concept art stage, and I guess I could kind of show you guys some of that. Let's see. I don't need this keyboard here. Oh yeah, I was in OneDrive. I've been messing with OneDrive lately because James GSR actually put me onto it, and I think it's a pretty good option. I kind of hate using Dropbox and Google Drive. I think they're awesome in what they offer. Um, but there's always like weird security issues that I have to like navigate through that take forever or are annoying, you know. So OneDrive, so far I haven't run into that. So yeah, I'm trying that one out for a little bit. And it looks like the download situation went pretty well, so I am gonna try to get these downloads going. This is all the flats that James GSR has done for Darby Cufflink, which I think I was starting to mention, but didn't mention that I finished it. Um, so yeah, so it's finished, and if you want to go to patreon.com/donkeyjobprojects, uh, you can check it out by donating $1 a month and getting access that way. And it was a fun story. I really enjoyed finishing that up. It's a very simple story. Looking back at it, I noticed there was like one or two pages where maybe I could have added a little bit more dialogue, but it still works anyways. It's like the action sequences, some of them. Some of them there's talking and stuff, but there's like two pages where there's action sequences without. I I wasn't sure what to put for dialogue there, if anything, and I kind of thought of some stuff after the fact. So who knows, I can edit it. And and it's nothing like essential to the story. It's just a little more fun dialogue, so that you're reading something and not just looking at something. Um, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Eventually these stories will be put into a print edition that can be sold, and stuff like that. But for now, they live on Patreon. They're going to be living on Patreon for a while. Um, so let's see. All right. So what was the other thing? Oh, so like Patreon's kind of interesting. Um, Jason Brubaker just put out a video about Patreon, and I'm actually pretty encouraged by some of the stuff he was talking about. He recently did a drive to, um, hmm, interesting. He recently put out a drive to, or a few different like drives kind of pushing his Patreon, and he's doing really well with that. Obviously, he's Jason Brubaker, and he's got a much bigger audience than me, but um, you know, it was actually pretty interesting. Um, how he's, I haven't seen anybody, and I know there's people killing it on Patreon, but I haven't really seen anybody close to our community. Well, I guess that's not true. There's been people making some good headway with it, but you know, it's encouraging to see somebody like get closer and closer to a point where they can actually live off of it, who's kind of within our um sphere to a certain degree. I mean, he doesn't know who I am. I don't know who he is. But he has been on like Jeff Lafferty's show, and I think he might have been on the Artcasters. I forget, but he's not like unapproachable. And a lot of these guys aren't unapproachable, but some of them might not have the time to kind of connect with certain people, I guess, which is understandable. You get busy, you get a lot of followers, you got a lot of responsibilities, and you just can only do so much. So what did I want to do? Let's check out where we're at with. Oh, you know what I wanted to do was check the chat. That's what I wanted to do. Make sure that I have that open. Do do do. Dave Hingley, how you doing, man? Um, question for you got tips in order to make a comic every month. Well, I've only done it once, so I haven't. I don't have experience besides 1 month behind me yet, but. And then only the Darby cufflinks seem to take a month to make, which means you are constantly making comics for Patreon. Oh yeah. So, um, as I do that, let me talk about that. Let me get back to this trying to download some stuff. All right. I shouldn't have done certain things maybe. All right. Files. Uh, Okay. So, first of all, I wouldn't recommend doing one comic per month if you either don't have a huge buffer or you don't want this to be the only thing you do. Comics are hard. So my first tip would be, and you know, this isn't like a revelation, like a surprise revelation for me. This is when I decided to do this, I knew this is what it was going to entail. All I really want to, when it comes down to it, I really just want to make comics. Like that's the main thing I want to do. And actually it reflects what uh Jason Brubaker was talking about. He spent a lot of time in the recent video, the kind of kick ass on Kickstarter video. He spent a lot of time talking about um, how he's realizing that doing training and tutorials and things like that and other kinds of efforts aren't the main thing he actually wants to do. And so he realizes that what he actually wants to do is create more stories and send and ship them and make them into books, like physical books. Um and that that's actually what he's finding out as he's tried these other things that haven't gotten as much attention as when he makes a book. Just the fact that they haven't gotten that attention shows him that maybe he should actually do what he wants to do, because what he wants to do is what gets the most attention anyways. So why is he trying to do all this extra stuff, to that isn't actually getting the attention that he's trying to get for, like, it's like he's doing extra stuff to get attention for his books, but the thing that gets him attention for his books is doing just the books. um so and that's intuitively what I've already been thinking for a good year or so now. I mean, there are some extra things I want to do, but they have to be related to the books, and I have to find out a way to carve time out, to create those things. And what that tends to mean is like interesting content for YouTube and maybe for Instagram. That's pretty much where it's at. And then also like maybe working harder on my email list and website and making sure I just keep building those things and stuff. Um, and now Patreon as well. So, um, so just knowing that, just knowing that can kind of help you focus and stuff. And when it all comes down to it, I think that's where maybe a lot of us are, because um, um, like we all want to make comics. A lot of us, the people watching this are generally tend to be people in my circle who wanted to make comics similar to me, or similar to how I want to make comics. And so I would imagine that, sorry, I'm trying to see where this stuff was put. Oh, okay. So I would imagine that other people would probably be in a similar boat as far as like wanting to the whole point was we wanted to make comics or whatever. So and if that's not the point, find out what the point actually want to be a fan art person. That's what you derive the most joy from. Then focus on that and not on comics, because comics is just not worth it if you're not gonna be. It just isn't. It's like that. There's certain things that you really just have to be 100%, or else it's almost not worth it. I mean, I guess maybe if you feel like you can make comics and without kind of going all in and just enjoy it, then okay, fine. It's worth it if you feel like you can manage that. But if you're really trying to make something substantial out of those comics, I don't. It's just too hard to do. To really say it's worth it. I personally just don't believe that it's worth it. So yeah, that's kind of my first and foremost type of, I guess, tip, if you want to call it that.
Did somebody mention fan art?
I know. So if people who do fan art, man, they're like the scum of the earth,
The
man.
dregs of society. Yes, they are.
What's up, Creed? How you doing?
Hey, man. I'm just working on a commission myself, so I figured I'd pop in.
Awesome. So uh you recently put out a video showing
Yeah,
something pretty cool, man. That was awesome. I love that video with the
yeah, yeah. I built myself this giant media guide that's like the size of the Grand Canyon.
that's awesome. So I don't know, like I was just like so enamored by that. Like, I don't know. Are you gonna release that to the public in any way, shape, or form? Or I know it's meant to be just for you, but
I
gotta
think what
share
I'm
the
gonna do.
love, man.
Yeah, I'm working on like packaging it so I can put it on like a Dropbox kind of thing, or like if just if somebody wants it, like you guys, like the community or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's just right now. That's just the cartoon section, because the TV show section, which I haven't shown because it's almost too big to scroll through. I'd probably have to piece that out. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm actually working on just the cartoon section, making it somehow portable. So if somebody goes, "Hey, I could use that for something. Can I have it?" I'll be like, "Here you go." So I am working on that, and
That's
and and
cool.
you can definitely get one once it's ready.
Nice. Oh, so it won't be something that's like online for
No,
like
I don't think
anybody
it's
to
going to
go
be
to.
super public. It's public that it exists, but it's kind of a behemoth. Especially like I could probably put it online because I got all this. I built it from things I got online, so it's but like just the folder for that cartoon section is 5 gigs. So it's
Oh wow.
well, it's because there's a video clip for every show. So
Yeah, that's a lot of work. When did you do all that? Because that just looks like a lot of work.
oh, I did it something like 2 years ago, and the most of the work was had to be 8 months every day. Like I
Wow.
really wanted it. I was like, I am gonna build the pyramids, and I'm gonna start with this block, and I just went and started doing it.
Wow. Well, that's pretty cool that you took the time out to. There's like things like that often think about doing, but I just am like, there's no way I'm ever gonna actually get to this.
No regular human being has the time to build something that giant.
That's funny. Yeah, but that thing was awesome. To
that's
see you go through. I was gonna
that's
say
what I
if
use.
you did
That's
do it publicly, you should put links to buy the episode, like Amazon links or something to buy the videos, and I don't know. It could be
it'd
something
be
you
a
can
really
do. Yeah.
great website, but it's something that I think might cause some trouble. Like some companies might be like, don't include my stuff, and there'd be a lot of I don't know, like because I just built it like I just went, okay, I'm just gonna Google images, I'm gonna get the pictures, I'm gonna go to YouTube and grab all these cartoon intros, and I built it like something that wasn't gonna be public. So
Yeah. I mean, in all honesty, I do wonder if there would be any copyright issues, but to me, it's like, all it is you making a site recommending things, and if you put the links to like Amazon stuff, like affiliate links, like then you're like all you're doing is literally selling that person, those whoever owns the property's products. So
yeah,
it's like it's nothing but good, really. It's just like a blog where if you were just talking about the stuff and put a link in.
yeah, it's just multimedia, but it may be a future project to turn that all into a website because I think people would like it. But it's never occurred to me to even show that or tell anybody that I had it. I was just using it, and then I was like, wait a minute, this thing's spectacular. Like I could make a video from this. So I did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could. I wouldn't even. I would feel like all you would really need to do is, just add it to your website, and put just one thing that says like Creed's recommended watching or something, or.
Put a crazy door on there, a graphic, and the door just say, "You will not believe what is on the other side of this."
Because I mean, it goes right along with your brand, really. So
Oh yeah, and
it
it's
could only help. I think you're selling your stuff.
well, people like my cartoon knowledge, where I can just say, "Oh, this cartoon and that cartoon," and this helps that because that's takes the load off my brain, where I can just scroll through and go, "Hey, I know this. There's the information right there."
Yeah, absolutely.
And it, like I said in the video, it works for inspiration because there's basically it's not like I said, it's about 80% done, but right now it's usable enough that I can go, oh, I really don't feel like drawing, and then I can scroll through that, and in 10 minutes time I'll be like, I super love this cartoon, I have to draw that guy, So
Yeah,
it's great.
that's awesome. That's really cool.
But that took the better part of a year, and that was just the cartoon section. I think about another year and a half for the TV section. Like it's a project you shouldn't do because nobody has the time for that.
That's for sure. That's funny. All right, so what are you working on today?
Drawing leader one from GoBots. Still,
Sweet.
the problem I have is because this is a commission. I normally don't worry about my pencils. My pencils are just part of the process. Like I don't even consider it. This has to be a finished thing. But with this, I'm breaking out rulers and stuff because I'm drawing a robot, and it has to be like I can't use any Photoshop magic. So, oh man, it's a learning curve. But this is kind of why I just said, okay, I'm just gonna do a couple of these, and I set a limit because all I did is I dropped it on my site, and you can buy a commission. That's the easiest way I could think of to do it. and it says right on the site, it says the maximum time this will take is a month. So I had to give myself a month just in case I needed it.
Right. That's cool that you knew that and stuff.
Oh, I need to give myself some leeway. Plus, I don't want this to be the only thing I can work on. I need to be able to work on this and my art at the same time. So,
Right. Cool. Um, nice. Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to figure out digital things while talking at the same time.
yeah,
Um, so I guess I'll mention it's I don't have a lot of time today, unfortunately, but I did want to at least mention Chris McQuinlan's Kickstarter. He's still, he's doing good. I've seen that his thing has grown a little bit,
yeah.
but he definitely.
I'm really surprised that hasn't gone off yet. But it's just getting the word out, and there's algorithms you have to fight through. You know.
Yeah, yeah, it's not easy. I mean, it's interesting that, the first time he did a Kickstarter, like actually he funded like within hours of putting it up.
Oh yeah,
The goal was smaller though.
yeah.
His goal this time is about to where he got through his whole campaign last time. So, he's still doing pretty good. Like if he put the goal at the same place where it was last time, he would have, already funded fully. So I do have confidence that he's going to make it. Um, but yeah, he's got 9 days to go. So if anybody has not pledged yet, um, to his Kickstarter, definitely go check it out. He's definitely over halfway there, but we need to get him all the way there. So, Monkey Junk, his thing is Monkey Junk, and I'll put a link in the description. Um, and I'll also put a link in the description for the video Creed was we were talking about that Creed did because it's really cool. And then you guys can go subscribe to his channel. So,
There definitely will be more from that abyss of cartoon coolness.
yeah, there was definitely some that I was like, oh, I kind of want him to click on that one or whatever.
Yeah.
I was surprised the Captain N. It's like when you played the intro, I'm like, oh man, I remember all of this. Like, but I have no, like, if in a million years I would have never remembered, like, without that prompt, I would have never remembered that there was a Nintendo comic or cartoon that I watched when I was younger.
That's exactly why I love the kind of art I do, because that's what each piece will do that to somebody. They'll be looking and they'll be like, I'm drawing leader one. If I make stickers of this or whatever, somebody's gonna be going along and they're gonna be like, I forgot that when I was 10, GoBots was my favorite thing in the world. I totally forgot that. And it like it's that spark of nostalgia that I create in people sometimes when I make stuff. It's just that's the joy I get from my art, I think.
That's cool. Um, yeah, it's funny because GoBots, I'm pretty sure that wasn't that the one that was kind of considered, or at least I feel like that's the one I considered was like the bootleg, like Transformers or something. But
Everybody thinks that, and it's weird because at the time they were running around the same time and nobody really compared them because it was ongoing at the moment. It's not until afterwards people started like putting one in one spot and one in the other. Like that's an afterwards thing, which is really interesting.
yeah, yeah. Well, I've also heard a lot of people who maybe have felt that way, but also have a lot of love for that show as well. And some people who totally disagree with that idea and again have a lot of love for that show. So,
I think it was a fantastic cartoon. I don't compare it to Transformers because they had nothing to do with each other.
right.
So I think it's great that there was two transforming robot cartoons. I think there should have been five or six.
Yeah, well, there was in Japan,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and still is today. Let's see. Oh, sorry. I was just trying to think of what I need to do. I'm trying to get those links in there. This is a very unproductive episode of the Early Bird Artcast for me. I got so much work to do, but I really got to get some strong work done on the writing for the Corncob Rob comic, so I can get onto pages as soon as possible. Because to do a comic story every month, I can't be dilly dallying around.
Oh yeah, that production machine has to go.
Yep. But so that's kind of what's awesome, though. I think about having this challenge is like it's forcing me to get past all the things that hang me up generally, on projects. So I'm gonna
You
have
don't
to
have to, you don't have
adapt.
time to say, well, I have to sit around for a week and tweak this story. It's like, no, I have to write it the best I can right now and then start to draw.
Exactly. All right, let's see. I think you know what? I'll just put copy paste link in some of this stuff because it's easier.
And the cool thing about that Chris McQuinlan comic is you're not just buying into a comic, you're buying into a universe they're building. So
Yeah.
it looks like it's going to be really like he really has something there, I think.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, like I said before in the video I did with Chris this week, looking at the pages for the second book so far, he's got like 3 or 4 new pages already, and they're just getting so amazing. Like it's just I'm blown away by like how awesome these pages are looking for
Yeah,
sure.
it's going to be cool. I'm sure it's going to go through. Usually there's a surge at the end like you said.
Mm-hmm. For sure. All right, cool. So I can just kind of copy paste these links in, and I'll have most of what I need. Nah, well, it's not that easy sometimes because the computers are fun. And also the Alternaween Kickstarter's going pretty good. They funded their he's at 155% of his
Yeah, that's so
goal.
cool.
So yeah, I wish I had money, and I wish that I had kids that came to my door for Halloween because that would be fun.
Yeah, I would have loved to get comics in a trick or treat bag. That would have been awesome.
Right? That's like so ridiculous. um Speaking about pricing on things, one thing I said on the making comics with Marsh and Chris show Monday was that the getting the actual book was like I couldn't afford it, but I didn't realize I was looking at the Australian money part of it, and it's actually not that expensive. It's affordable, I think.
Yeah,
I just happen to be pretty poor at the moment, but because I'm
yeah,
not
I'm
sure if
I'm
I'll be
living
able
that,
to do
man.
it, but I hope I can like kind of swing it. I don't know. We'll see in the last 9 days, but either way, like I think most people would be able to swing it on, if they're doing okay. So
Yeah,
definitely
because
check
the
that out.
Australian exchange works for you. If you're in the States, it's cheaper because
Yeah,
the exchange is lower.
it's funny. I just realized that your YouTube handle is Jimmy Hoffa 404.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's my email.
Nice.
It's just a web designer joke. It's 404 file not found.
Oh, nice. I'm taking a sip of coffee. All right. So, yeah. So I guess let's see what else do I got here. See if I can make a little bit more progress. I got a few more minutes left. But the links are now in the thing. It's just linked to Creed's YouTube channel. But I think it's the last video you did, so definitely go check that out, guys.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
fun
I'm
video.
I'm I'm actually planning to do a lot more videos this month because my videos were a month apart for a while there, but that's because I was like elbow deep in art and I didn't want to distract myself. I really want to make a video, but I'm like not until I finish what I'm doing. So it took a while.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
That's my rule. Like I like to prioritize my YouTube, but it's not prioritized over actually making art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. So yeah, I mean, what like what videos will come out next? You still have, from what I remember, I think you still have probably some leftover videos from the last run of villains, right? Or are you
Yeah, I
gonna put
have.
new
It's
videos or?
some. It's something like five, and what happens is I'll hit a little snag in doing something, and that little snag would be like, well, instead of fixing this snag, I'm going to work on something that has no snags in it. So like I hit a my next villain I wanted to do. I lost one of the parts of the video, so and it's sort of easy. I can just go into Photoshop. It's the coloring part, and I can just go into Photoshop and like make a video of the layers in Photoshop instead of like showing when I actually put them in. So it's
Yeah.
sort of easy, but it's just something extra I had to do. So it's that sort of slowed me down on the villains.
Hmm.
But I have I think probably my next video is going to be my Killer Clowns from Outer Space sticker I just made. And I don't have the complete process because that took me like 2 weeks. But there's a good chunk of it. It's going to show a lot of what I was trying to accomplish because I had to come up with a whole new style to do it. So
Hmm. Well, that's cool. I look forward to that video for sure. I look forward to learning about killer clowns from outer
yeah,
space because I'll be honest, I haven't delved into that hole yet, that rabbit hole.
that was a really cool piece. That like that's why I sort of don't I kind of have a general plan for my art, but
Hmm.
I'm like if I get sucked down a whirlpool and end up on a tangent, sometimes it's really good. Like I found that Killer Clowns piece in my folder of old '90s art, and the pencils I had them I guess 95% done, and I abandoned it for some reason at the time. I don't know what it was. And then when I dug it out, I looked at it, I'm like, that's as good as I can do today. So that's my next piece.
Nice.
So yeah, the pencils were done in 1998 for that, which is crazy.
Wow. Yeah, no, to me it seems right up to the standard of what you got going these days. So, I don't blame you.
Yeah, I don't know what I had against it, but at the time, but yeah,
Awesome. See if I can get a little color on here
just
before
the
I
challenge with that one
check
was
out.
I didn't want to color it like a cartoon because it's not from a cartoon.
Right.
It's from a like a in the real world. Like okay, they built it. It's a monster. It's special effects, but they built it in the real world,
Hmm.
and so I wanted to do a super detailed, from as detailed as I could do on the coloring, and it is, and it came out like it surprises me I could do it. That's the level I got to, which is exactly the level I'd like.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, but you did a good job with it. It looks great.
It just took a lot of time to figure out the look that I wanted, and now I'm really thinking that that's going to be the start of a horror monster series I'm going to do.
That sounds awesome.
So I'm looking at I'm looking at stuff like Pumpkinhead, Freddy and Jason, all the horror guys.
It'll be interesting to see how deep the rabbit hole goes with your horror
Oh,
stuff.
it's gonna go deep, I think. And then so hopefully by next Halloween I'll have a big batch of that stuff. I'm hoping anyway.
Yeah, that would be cool. Maybe you can make it, and I don't know. Knowing you, you'll probably end up doing 100 horror characters.
Yeah, 100. 100's the number. I don't know what it is, but 100 is the number that's good for a series.
But hopefully, maybe that won't be the case. Maybe you could do like 25 or something, and have like a little book out or something for Halloween. That might be kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I know when I did my first 100 villains, when I got to 50, I made sure to include, like, because I didn't put Skeletor in yet, and he's like my heavy hitter villain that I really wanted to put in. And I was
Hmm.
like, well, I better put him in as 50 because it might just be 50.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
But I'm almost finished villain number two in my second 100 villains right now. So
Sweet.
I'm about halfway through inking Bloth, but I stopped to try to get on this commission because there's somebody waiting for it. So
yeah, for sure.
And I'm in the process today. I'm heading to the post office a little later. I'm mailing out my stickers to some awesome YouTubers that have a channel. They like unbox stuff, and I'm sort of a fan of theirs. We talk in their comments and all this stuff. And actually, turns out they're on the same island I live on. so I'm gonna be sending them some stickers, and they're gonna put it on the show. So it's gonna be cool.
That's awesome. That way you don't have to pay a lot for postage.
Oh, exactly.
That's sweet. It's pretty cool when you can get some color on something. It's always like, I don't know. It's like
Brings it right to life.
magical part of it.
That's why I'm hoping Chris McQuinlan, when he does a trade, I'm hoping he'll get the chance to do a color trade of that because,
that would
like,
be cool.
that comic is just, it screams rainbow of colors. It just does.
Oh, I know. That's something I've been thinking about mentioning to him too. Because that's exactly the thought I have too. It's like this was meant to have color for sure.
Yeah, he really needs to do that for the trade. That'd just be spectacular.
All right. Looks like it's about that time for me. I'm going to check the chat real quick one more time. Hopefully, next time I'll be able to do at least a full hour. Today I had some technical difficulties, but.
Oh, right on.
Oh, Fue was in there. What's up, Fue? Dave Hingley was in there too earlier. I think he's hopefully maybe still in there. Fue loves killer clowns. Yeah, you and Fue would probably get along because if you're really deep into the horror stuff, I know he's really deep into the horror stuff.
Yeah, he actually messaged me after I was on last time, and I was already following him.
Nice.
It's a small world.
For sure. And Peter said hello all. So what's up, Peter? Hopefully these guys will be able to jump on sometime too. They're all in the insider chat thing or whatever, or Facebook thing. So
Right on.
but yeah, everybody, thank you for checking stuff out. Creed, thanks for coming and keeping me company for a little bit.
Oh yeah, it was a good time. You have a cool day at work, Marsh.
Oh, thanks. And everybody check out Creed's stuff. Don't forget to go over to Chris McQuillan's Kickstarter. And that's about all I'm going to mention here for today. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Later. Have a good one.
All right, peace out.